of course, we go to our thigh. Remember, I took my thigh exactly at the crotch depth in this case, like so, right? And from there, we will come to this angle 90 here, and you measure 1 inch or 0.75. I want to go for 1 inch. This is my 1 inch here. So you simply make a curve that will pass through the 1 inch and end at your hip measurement here, right? You don't want to alter your hip measurement. And from there, you can use a fairly straight line to the waist, like so, right? This gives you your trouser. Please, if you have a sharp joint here, you simply want to smoothen it out. We don't want a sharp break here. We want it smoothened out like this, right? Now, coming to the ankle, I said that you measure 2 inches up here, or 2.5, let's say 2 inches, and you want to get the dimension of that point there. We have it at 8.25, and you want to make sure you have exactly the same thing here, so that when you fold your trouser to this point, it will align, right? So I have 8.25, so we have this as the trouser at the base there. Now, for your jumpsuit, you don't need to slope your front waistline. No, you don't need to do that, of course, because you are joining it with a half top. This is a high waist trouser. If this were to be a normal trouser, it will be a high waist trouser. And remember, I told you, for high waist trouser, you do not slope the front waistline. You do that for a normal waist, a regular waist trouser, right? So this is what we have. And before you cut out, remember to add your half-inch seam allowance. That was the reason why we gave the 0.5 here, right? So you can see the 0.5 here, but at some point it is now more than 0.5, so it is your duty to bring it down to 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, all the way down. And that is the only point you'll be giving your allowance. Remember, we have given allowance at the waist here. Remember, half inch to join with the top. At the remaining points, you don't need to give allowance, right? Your inseam here, you don't give allowance. With that comes with the back, right? So with this, we simply want to cut out. Remember, this would have been on a fold, and we'll have 2 pieces of this, which will be for our front block, right? So you can see that I'm giving half inch all the way, like so, like this. This is my half inch for joining the waist to the top. So this is how to draft your trouser for a jumpsuit. Please, you have to pay attention to the differences between this trouser and a regular trouser. I stated all of that already. You can see that it has a longer crotch depth. You can see that it has a longer waist to hip, waist to knee, and the trouser itself is longer than a normal trouser. Of course, that is because it is for a jumpsuit, right? So you have this cut out, and in the next video I'm going to show you how to draft the back. Thanks for watching. My name is Legendary. Okay, so we welcome back. Here we are, and if this were to be a real fabric, I would fold this like so, and then place my front block on it to get the back, right? But since we are just doing this on the paper, there won't be any need for me to fold, because of course I am not sewing this, and if I want to actually sew this, one of the front is enough for me to trace out my front. I don't need the 2 front, and one of the back is also enough for me to trace out my back, right? So, but since this is just a tutorial, we'll simply show you using 1 layer, right? So please, if you're doing this on your fabric, fold your fabric into 2 so that you can get your 2 backs at a time, right? It's going to save you your time and maybe your fabric, right? So we'll have this, and what you want to do is, when you are placing the front on the back, make sure you give at least 1.5 from the waist. We will use that 1.5 for the waist rise. For the waist rise. If not, your client will not be able to bend down with your trousers, with your jumpsuit, right? You need to raise up the waistline for the back because of the butt. The butt is not flat, so it consumes more fabric. It takes more length at the back, right? So you give 1.5, and if the person is has a very big backside, you can give up to 2 inches, right? You can give up to 2 inches if the person has a very big backside. But this is an average measurement. This is hip of 40, so I simply want to give my 1.5, right? So you have that, and you place your pins on it, and then we will do the modification to get our back. Now, what do? I simply come to my waist. I'm going to give 2 inches for the back added, right? From here, you add your +2. You can make it 2.5 if you want to be on the safe side. You can make here 2. And then at the crotch depth here, if this is my actual crotch depth line, remember we said we're going to come down by ½ inch. That will be the crotch depth for the back, right? I've explained all of that in my previous trouser video. You can go watch that. So at the crotch depth, we give either 3 or 3.5. If the person is big, you can give 3.5 for safety, for ease. Why, if it's an average measurement like what I have here, hip of 40, I'm going to be giving 3 for the crotch area there, right? We go to the knee, we make it 2. We go to the ankle here, that is the full length here, we make it 2, right? So you simply connect those points together, right? You connect those points together like so, and then you get your back. You can see that the whole work is just on the front. If you have done the front, the back is actually a walkover, right? Like so. And here we said you're going to come in straight at least 1.5 like so before you now curve here, right? That gives you a nice fitting behind there, right? And this again is a fairly straight line to the waist. And then now we come here, see the actual length of my front here, and we said we are going to be adding at least 1.5 to the back here because of the butts, right? If you don't do this, you will not be able to bend down with your jumpsuit, right? But at the side here, we are going to be joining front and back together, so there must be of the same length by the side, the same length and the same shape, the same everything by the side. Where the difference between back and front comes is at this point here, right? So this is how to draft your trousers for a jumpsuit, right? So we simply cut out. Here you cut exactly with the front, the shape, the length, the everything. Right? And sorry, this have shaped. Have our 2 inches given here. 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches up to the knee, and then we made it 3 inches here for average measurement. You can make it 3.5 for a big measurement, a measurement on the large side. So we have this, and that is how to draft your trousers for a jumpsuit. The pocket dimension still remains the same for a regular trouser. You can go for 2 or 2.5 inches by 6.5 or 7 inches. This will give you the normal straight pocket, and here you can go for your 5 inches or even up to 5.5 by your 3 inches. This will give you a jean pocket, right? That is it. So thanks for watching. My name is Legendary.